Okay, hello. For today's presentation, we are from group number 7 and we are going to present our master plan for Brinchang Parks and Recreation. So firstly, our first point will be presented by Asmah. Asmah, are you there, Asmah?
Okay, for information, I'll start. For information, Brinchang, also known as Brinchang, and it was a town located in Cameron Highland, Pahang, and diverse city with resident who deserve and expect well-planned, well-built, and properly maintained infrastructure. For recycling and street maintenance to the implementation of long-term capital project, our neighbor and visitor should have meaningful opportunities to be informed, to provide input, and to make recommendation to Brinchang planning process. Okay, this public engagement plan aims to facilitate meaningful community involvement in the development. This plan uses the Community Economic and Development Office civic engagement framework as a guide and directly reference their core value of civic engagement and also provide a step towards helping Mega Holding achieve its public engagement goal while continuing to serve Brinchang. Okay, this public engagement plan is based on the principle and standards set forth by the International Association for Public Participation. And this include, first is stockholder have a right to be involved. Second, public contribution should influence decision. And the last is engagement promote sustainable decision. Okay, next.
Okay, next is stabilizing a community vision. This vision is usually implemented in conjunction with a master planning project to plan for change over the next 10 to 30 years. The vision allow the community to think ahead of time that required by the mandate of an area planner and be able to unite the community to consider opportunities and issues. Okay, next.
So the next is developing a concept plan. So the conceptual master plan is the foundation that translates the vision into a graphic blueprint for the entire project. It further defines the concept, establish a baseline for development potential, and create a base map illustrating the limiting factor and the opportunity on the chosen or potential site and in the surrounding area. So developing a concept plan is include site inventory, constraint and opportunity mapping, circulation concept, visitor access point, visual access point, parking concept, pacing concept, illustrative master plan including landscape element, aerial rendering of the site, character sketches and illustration of pertinent facilities and attraction, project programming element and capacities, and the last one is preliminary facility description including story outline. Okay, so next.
Okay, next, adopt and implement the plan. So the final master plan is designed to serve as a decision-making tool for the state government officials to help set priorities for implementation and to provide a high level of parks and recreation service. So who is involved in this process is the state government of Pahang, and after, also and community of Brinchang. Okay, so after the state of Pahang review the plan, and we get the feedback, comment from the community of Brinchang, so we can implement the plan. Okay, next.
So for the next part, we have to obtain the feedback. Obtaining feedback from the various stakeholders that are involved in this project is important so that we can understand the needs and the wants of the communities and how our project is being perceived. So there are various ways to obtain feedback, such as interviews, phone surveys, questionnaires, and online questionnaires. There are two methods of obtaining feedback. The first is the formal feedback, and secondly is informal feedback. For the formal feedback, it will take a few methods that is done before the project is started, during the project, as well as after the project. And for the informal feedback will be throughout the project, during our development process. The feedback also allows us to listen to the stakeholders and we can take time to analyze their opinion so that we can make these decisions based on their feedback. And then we can use this feedback to improve our project. So for the next part.
For reviewing of existing condition, to plan for future parts and relocation needs, a jurisdiction needs to understand and assess the context of the planning area, environmental conditions and existing conditions. Research existing conditions and trends for population, socio-economic conditions and other factors that may govern demands for parks and recreation facilities and program. According to a project for public space report, master plan contains the history of the site, which is for our site, Brinchang, the context surrounding its development and describe the evolution of the Brinchang system over time. Background information should define the planning area, describe the planning process and explain strategies for engaging and involving the public. Okay, next slide. Okay, for analysis of need and difference, we have three components for needs analysis, which is initiation, data collection analysis, and final product. For initiation is we need to identify the limiting factors for the needs analysis plans and the organization being analyzed and the project stakeholders. Some of these limiting factors will not become apparent until after meeting with the community. This allows us for the exploration of the program as well as to align the expectation of both the community and the organization. Okay, next, I will pass to Asfar Nabil.
Fakhrul. So now I will explain data collection and analysis. So during this stage, we perform a two analysis, which is political, economic, social, and technological, PEST, PEST, and SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So what is PEST? PEST is to examine the macro level factors that make up the environment that the organization is within. So these factors are external to the organization itself and include the political, economic, social, and technology factors. So next SWOT. SWOT is to identify the strength and weakness which are internal to the company as well as the opportunity and threat which are external to the company. So analysis includes some external factor, but it starts narrow to scope compared to the past analysis. Then after that, we collect the data, such as conduct interview, observe, give survey, and review existing documents. So last step is a final product. Okay, the third and final phase of the need assessment is the final product. This include the summary of the findings and the migration strategy, detailing which driving force should be strengthened and which restraining force should be limited. And a final report that includes recommendations. Okay, thank you. Next slide.
Okay, for the priorities action plan, once the parks and recreation needs have been analyzed, key findings should be summarized. These findings will be the basic of developing vision statement that charts the general course of the plan, identifies assets that need to be maintained, what needs to be changed, and how the plan will be accomplished. A priorities action plan then be developed that sets for the series of goals, objective, and recommendation to implement the vision. Then the priorities action plan should describe and rank all the priorities related to new or upgrades to existing facilities, recreation programs, management, and operation. Then for the priorities action plan, foster operational excellence. They are option the leadership, focus, deliverable oriented, and coordination and governance. That's all.
Thank you for your time. That
That's
is
all,
the end
and
of
thank you.
our presentation.
Thank you, everyone.